know what I deserve. Come on, how many of you know what you deserve? Make some noise. You know what you deserve. How many know you deserve it? You know you deserve what you wrote on that piece of paper financially. Make some noise. How many of you know you don't deserve to be in a hospital dying? You need to be able to walk for yourself and for your spouse and for your grandkids and for your family. You need to be able to walk there and make some noise. You need to be able to fly. How many of you know you deserve it? Make some noise. Here's the only way you can get it. I'm going to read it.
Hey people, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody. It's another Tuesday. It's another Tuesday. I want to welcome everybody on here. David, you had mentioned something. Do we have a couple minutes with you? You're on mute.
Yes, I apologize. My flight got delayed and now I'm at the gate. So I have a hard stop, I think like 7:35, 7:40.
Okay.
So I just want to,
So we got a good 20 minutes with you then, right? At least. Before first class starts getting boarded. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste any more time. I do want to introduce everybody that's on here. Thank you guys for definitely popping through here. Today's segment has got to be very important for me. And as we journey along to getting mental health together, the power of our words is our discussion tonight. So Mr. David Powertalk, he doesn't have a whole lot of time, but I do want to make sure that he does bless us with his words, his motivation, his stories, coming from a shaky childhood, but definitely now showing the youth how it can be done in communities through his challenges. So let's talk about how to go from using our pain and make it powerful. Mr. David Solomon, let's go.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for having me, first of all. Thanks for having me. So as you know, I'm a certified motivational speaker. My platform, I help people turn a pain into power. How come pain is your power? Well, a little bit of my story. I've been through a lot of pain points in my life. I don't have that much time. So therefore, I'm going to start out with my childhood. Of course, my mother and my father both was addicted to drugs. At a young age, I came in the kitchen. I found my mother laying on the floor. She was having an overdose. At about 9 years old, I had to rub ice on my own mother's chest. At that time, I didn't know what I was doing. But evidently, what I was doing was helping her to recover from an overdose. That was the time I realized my mother was on drugs. My name is David Solomon, two great kings. However, my father has the same name, but he was not in my life. I bounced from home to home, grandmother to grandmother, while my mother was in rehab. I ended up living in Newark, New Jersey, while my mother was in rehab, went on to college, went on to graduated. And also too, I dealt with a lot of things I felt like that we bring on from our past with our childhood. And those pain points, I had to learn how to deal with those. Well, however, there was a lot of regret. There was a lot of things I held on to with my mother and my father as I became an adult. And once I got the phone call that my mother passed away from a heart attack, I realized at that point, everything I was holding on to, I had to learn to let it go because it doesn't matter anymore. She's not here, right? So when I speak to kids and I speak to individuals, I have this saying about you have to learn how to let things go so you can grow. And the reason why that's important is because sometimes we're so consumed with so much pain, we're so consumed with what somebody have done to us that we don't allow ourselves to be happy or be the person that we would like to be because we're holding on to. And that's what happened with me. I held on so much with my mother and my father. So fast forward, when I got a phone call on my birthday, I was on vacation, that my father got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I remember I never got the chance to tell my mother bye. So therefore, I immediately canceled my trip. I flew back. They gave my father 90 days to live. Literally, within those 90 days, we bonded. How did you meet my mother, right? What things you like to do? I found out that a lot of the characteristics that I have, I got that from my father. My personality, my alpha male, being so driven. Found out he had his own company also too. And I didn't go down there, woe is me. How come you wasn't at the graduation? How come you got my mother addicted to drugs? How come you was like this? How come you wasn't around? I remembered that I never got that opportunity to say bye. So therefore, him and I, we bonded. Literally, within 90 days, my father passed away. So also too, I help people deal with depression, anxiety, doubt, fear. Why is that? Because at the point in my life, of course, a young man with no mentor, I made a lot of money at an early age. I started my own company. Had the house, had the cars, had everything, 7 figures. I lost everything. So when I lost everything, I went through depression. Actually, I wanted to commit suicide. I tried to commit suicide, but the man above allowed me not to go through with it. And I'm still here right now. David Powertalk, certified motivational speaker, help people turn their pain into power, because there's anointing inside of me that when I was in my mother's womb was already there that I didn't know existed until I went through my pain points. And what I learned is that as you go through whatever pain points you go through in life, we all have a story, we all go through something, but it's not meant to break you. It's only to make you stronger. It's only meant for you to operate in your purpose, to operate in your gift. And I didn't know I had this gift. When I walk on stage, when I speak to individuals, and as I'm being fully transparent about my story, as I go deeper into my pain points, as I talk about peel the onion back, I believe in order for you to heal, in order for you to grow, you must peel back the onion. A lot of us, we say we're okay, but we're really not. Like you ask somebody, hey, how you doing today? Oh, I'm okay. Yo, talk to me. What's really going on with you? How do you feel today? In my mentorship, I asked my mentees, I said, between 1 and 10, what's your mental health today? Some people say 5, some people say 7, some people say 9. I said, that's okay. I want you to be transparent. Some people say 1, because we all go through struggles that sometimes we don't feel like getting up. Sometimes we feel like the world is on our shoulders. But however, if you're alive and you can see another day, you're blessed to have life and opportunity. Because there's somebody that woke up this morning praying for your problems. So sometimes we think the problems we have is overwhelming, but actually your problems is really just your promotion in life. And I say that is because as I went through whatever problems I went through in my life, like when I lost everything, the house, the cars, and everything, I couldn't believe I actually went through depression. I wanted to take my life because of materialistic things or of an image that I had that no longer exists, which I realized the image is not who you are. Who you are is what's inside of you, the core, what you bring to this earth, your purpose. And I had to find that. But however, I would have never found that if I never went through my pain. So the power in all of that was for me to get back up. Like Les Brown say, if you fall down and you can look up, you can get back up. So that's what I did. I looked up, I got back up. I built back not only one company, built back 2 companies, over 6 or 7 figures now. And also too, now I have a 3rd company, David Powertalk Incorporated, where I actually help other people to become motivational speakers. And as I travel the world to get paid as a motivational speaker, talk to football teams, basketball teams, school, colleges, conferences, self-help, development, mental health awareness. I'm really big on that because, you are the head and not the tail. And if your head ain't right, if your mindset ain't right, nothing else is going to flow right? So therefore, I'm a big believer in that we must start the day off with gratitude first, in understanding that we're grateful not only to be alive, but maybe grateful that your kids are here, your husband is here, your wife is here, you got a roof over your head. There's some things in your life that you need to focus on. You can't have 2 thoughts of negative and positive at the same time. You must choose when you wake up. You must choose that positive thought. And as you choose that positive thought, begin to smile and celebrate your small wins. Like I'm a big believer on, sometimes we knock ourselves down because we're not where we want to be, or we feel like we made a mistake, or we're trying to get to a certain point in our life, a certain milestone, and we say these negative words to ourselves. So the power of the words that you actually say to yourself is something you must practice every day, of 20 words, of powerful words, of affirmations like, I am powerful, I am great, I am blessed, I'm a queen, I'm a king. You go on and on. You say these things before you start your day. Get a gratitude journal. Because as you say these powerful words to yourself, now you understand the value that you bring, the self-love that you have within inside of yourself, within inside of your soul. Like right now, I'm about to get on the plane, right? So Bob Proctor, one of his famous speeches is that when you get on the plane, if there's any turbulence, the first thing they say is put your mask on first before you help anybody else. And I'm a big believer in put your mask on first before you pour into anybody else. That's your self-love. What are you doing for yourself? What are you doing every day for your mental health? What are you doing every day for your sanity? What are you doing every day to make you understand how much value that you bring to this world? Because once you understand that, then you don't allow certain people, I call them my Cheerio. You know how small a Cheerio is? Cheerio is very small, right? So it's only a certain amount of people that I allow on my Cheerio. And the reason being is because it's one thing that we cannot get back, and that's time. So knowing we can't get back time, we would no longer waste our time on negative energy, negative people, negative situations, or things we can't control. We gotta learn to appreciate the now. We gotta learn to understand that tomorrow's not promised. It's a gift if you wake up tomorrow. So knowing that, just make the best of the day. Win one day at a time. So that's a little bit of my story. I'm sorry if I'm ranting, going on and on. I guess that's why they call me Powertalk.
No, that's not ranting at all. That's a good talk.
Yes.
One thing I'd love for you to share, thank you for sharing your story. I understand that is definitely a way. A lot of people don't want to stay in the pain. They definitely don't want to stay there long. We have a lot of people coming out of anxiety and depression through 2020. So what do you say to that person that is experiencing loss and is looking for medication or pills to try to subside that? What do you say to try to get them through that next level of happiness?
Right. I would say this, for instance, when my mother was in rehab and my father wasn't around, on Christmas Eve, the only reason why my grandmother, which is my mother's mother, had to take care of me is because I was from a small town called Henderson, North Carolina, which I was born and raised. But I flew up to Newark, New Jersey to visit my mother while she was in rehab, staying with my grandmother. I get a phone call that I can't no longer come back to the only place that I knew was home. So my father's mother told me I couldn't live with her anymore. So that's when my grandmother took me in. So I just want to give you this background of the story. So my grandmother really helped raise me throughout my childhood when both of my parents was back and forth out of rehab. So now fast forward, my mother passed away, my father passed away. The only person I have close to me is my grandmother, and her and our bond is just something that I can't even explain, that is so precious. So on Christmas Eve of last year, I actually lost my grandmother, right? 92 years on this earth. It's a blessing. No, it's okay. So I lost my grandmother, and then went into the new year. I had to bury my grandmother on the first couple of days of the new year. First week of the new year, I had to bury my grandmother. But you know what? When I walked in there, first, I mean, I couldn't stop crying. It was just immediate tears out my eyes. But when I left the funeral home, as I'm driving behind the hearse, right? Just picture this, the hearse is, we're going to the cemetery. I'm the first car behind the hearse. I'm driving the car with my family in there, and my grandmother is in that hearse. At first, I had a moment of anxiety, depression, and just guilt. And then I just had a moment of understanding that she's in a better place. Understanding I got an angel looking out for me. Understanding that she's not hurting no more. Understanding that she needs me to be stronger. So when I got that feeling, it's almost like it was an adrenaline rush in my system as I knew my grandmother was in no more pain, but I knew that she was looking after me, and I knew I had another angel on my shoulder. So anybody that's dealing with a grief, with somebody that you love, somebody that's close to you, don't spend the time on. It's of course you have to celebrate them. You have to grieve. You have to grieve. I do believe in that. Don't get me wrong. But however, you still need to understand they want the best for you.
Right.
So the best thing they want for you is for you to pick your head up. It's for you to walk out their house and be that queen you need to be, fix that crown. Be that king you need to be, fix that crown. Because they're looking after you. They saying, listen, I'm passing the legacy on to you, or I'm walking under your legacy. Depends on what grief you're dealing with. But however, the last thing that they want you to do is sit in that house in the darkness, to wake up with anxiety, to wake up with fear. Like I got a shirt that says faith, right? The reason why faith is so important, faith and fear is the same thing. It's something that's unforeseen, that you're not sure what can happen. With fear, you're focusing on the negative that can happen.
Right.
Faith, you're focusing on the positive things that will happen. So what I'm saying, put that energy into faith and not in fear. Right. The same energy that you put in fear, you can put that in faith. The same energy that you put in anxiety, you could put that in faith. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I've been there in the dark. I've been there, didn't want to get out the bed. I've been there when I'm kicking my back and why'd you make these mistakes? Or why they hurt me? Or why this happened? Why this? Why that? So yes, I might be an alpha male. I might be, I might be the lead of my company, but sometimes, the strongest person got the strongest battles. And we have to understand that we all got battles. So it don't matter how pretty your smile is. It don't matter what you have going on. You have millionaires and billionaires out here that want to jump off a roof. So you got to ask yourself, why is that? Why are they not happy? So we have to realize that just to have the opportunity of life itself, right, you should wake up with so much happiness that you want to give life everything you got. Because there's people that have lost loved ones, or there's people that didn't wake up this morning that wish they was in your shoes to be able to do whatever you do. I don't know if you're accounting. I don't know if you work at Walmart. I don't care whatever it is. I don't care if you only got one friend or if you don't have no friends. You have the opportunity now to make friends. You got the opportunity to make the best of your life. And I learned not to play the victim game. And I'm not saying that anybody going through anxiety or depression is playing the victim game, because I suffered from depression. I suffered from anxiety. I suffered from these doubt, from fear. I've been through all of that. Like I was in the garage with a 650 BMW, the top down, bottle of pills. I had a rope, bottle of pills, and the car running. I said, one of these things is gonna take me out, no matter what. I'm leaving here somehow, right? But something snapped inside of me that I didn't go through with it, took a cold shower. And from that day forward, I focused on small wins and rebuilding my life back and rebuilding back my confidence on who I am. So we must understand that we are so blessed and anointing that we have in our soul, in our body. There's something that before you even came out your mother womb, there was a purpose already mapped out for you. Because before I was David Powertalk, I was D Block. I used to ride motorcycles. Before that, I was Dancing Dave in college. So I went through stages in my life. But I always had this inside of me that I want the best out of people, right? Like King David, King Solomon, right? Two great kings. King David had to fight Goliath, right? So what did King David do? King David went to Goliath. Only thing he had was a little bag of stones and a slingshot with Goliath. He stood there with the Philistine army behind Goliath. He went there with the stones because he knew he had to defeat Goliath and the other warriors also too. But he stood there and he focused on not the fear aspect of it, but he walked in faith, because David was a shepherd before he was anointed as the king. So I had to realize that, yes, I had to go through my shepherd days to realize that my anointing is that I am a king. And I had to realize I had to defeat my Goliath. So some of us, we have our own Goliath. What's your Goliath? Is it doubt? Is it fear? Is it procrastination? Is it mental abuse? Is it physical abuse? Is it somebody that cut out your life? There's a Goliath that you got to sit there and you got to look that Goliath right in the face. And you got to take that slingshot and you got to take that little stone and you got to pull it all the way back. I mean, you got to pull it so back that your arm is just like, it's tight. And you got to look that Goliath right there in the face, and you got to hit that Goliath right in the middle of the head like Goliath did. And your Goliath will fall down. But it's not going to fall down if you go into battle with fear. Oh, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not sure if I could. Today's going to be a good day. No, like Steve Harvey say, when you wake up, you got two choices. Oh, I'm going to have a great day. You will have a great day. But if you wake up and say, oh, here, another day. Here we go again. I don't know why this day gonna be like this. No, you already setting the tone for the day. You're gonna have a bad day if you wake up and say, I'm gonna have a bad day. So if you wake up and say, I don't care what happens today, I am gonna have an amazing day. Right. I'm gonna have a blessed day. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna make me some breakfast. I'm gonna call somebody, tell them I love you. You gotta be the example. Sometimes we wait for somebody else to call us and check on us and do this. Call them, check on them. You be the example. You know, we have to get out our own ways. So what we do a lot of times, we do a lot of looking out the window with everybody else on Instagram, TikTok, look at their life. We have to look in the mirror. Like my first mentor, Dr. Eric Thomas, you played that video. That's who certified me as a motivational speaker. You have to understand, right? The only person that's in your way is the person in the mirror. That's the only person. That's it. It ain't your mama, ain't your daddy, ain't your cousin. It ain't nobody else in your way but you. So if you get out your way tomorrow and you say, okay, my credit score low. Okay, so fix your credit. I want to get into real estate. Okay, let's start studying real estate. Right. There is 24 hours in a day. Whatever industry that you are in, if somebody else can succeed at that level, you can also too. But you have to figure out, like TD Jake said, right? He says, not that your idea is bad. It's not that your plan or your vision is bad. Sometimes you just need a different strategy. So you have to sit back and say, what's my strategy to get to where I got to get to? Then once you figure that strategy out, like Tony Robbins said, he said this, right? He said, failure and success are equal, just like this, right? To get both, completely failure and success. What you mean by that, Powertalk? What I mean by this, right? Failure is a bunch of little small things that happen over a period of time that eventually, boom, catastrophic failure. Success is the same thing. It's a bunch of small things you do right, and eventually you are successful. You just have to wake up and you got to focus on those small things every day. Everything big started out small. Start out small, take your time, get a coach, get a mentor, go down the right path. If you make a mistake, it's okay, right? What happens with your GPS in the car, right? You put your GPS, you got a destination,
get you
right?
back on track.
You make a wrong turn, what it do? It gets you back on track. It's detour. What happens? Get you back on track.
Back on track.
It's still gonna get you back where you got. You might be 2 minutes late, 30 seconds late, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, like I was 3 minutes late on the Zoom, right? But guess what? I still made it to my destination.
You made it earlier. Thank you.
There we go. So I'm sorry to say all that, but your main point was just celebrate the person that's not here right now, and know that they want you to be happy. They don't want you to sit there with anxiety. They don't want you to sit there and be depressed. They want you to live your best life. They want you to, so you have to ask yourself, what does happiness look for you? That's it.
I love it. I saw a post on Instagram. I think it was on Instagram. And the gentleman was asked, how do I get out of a pain moment? He says, it's okay to grieve. He said, it's okay to grieve, but don't stay there. I dropped when I heard that. And I said, that's right. You can't tell someone, just get over it. Or, that just happened a year ago or 10 years. Everyone goes through grief in a different kind of way. It could be a job loss. It could be a loss of a relationship. And just with that separation, people, their timetable is different. But all I say is 10 seconds, get up. You got to keep it moving and celebrate the wins. Every time that we have a webinar here, David, I ask everyone on here to celebrate their wins. I said, don't even worry about the big stuff. I don't want to hear about the big stuff. I want to hear about the small things. Because we celebrate each other in this group in that capacity. So I'm glad you confirmed that. And also, I'm an author of 2 books. One of the things that I remember going through in one of the chapters, which was the hardest, was talking about my depression as well. I was not in a good place and not feeling right. My mother said, go to a doctor. And when I went to the doctor, they quickly prescribed me a medication. I have no idea what that prescription could have done to my mind. I never took it.
Right.
That week, God led me to a networking group that took me to the path of being around better people, being around bigger people, and took me to the point where I didn't need that. So that's what I really wanted to speak on, that as far as getting in rooms with people that are bigger than you and people that are doing what you want to do is crucial, especially if you're not in a good place where you're dealing with home negativity, you're dealing with work negativity, and you're dealing with you got to get it straight. So when David gets off, because I know he's got a board in 1 minute, we're going to go through some exercises, and what I feel is going to be helpful for your daily gratitude. So make sure you all have your gratitude booklet. And before we get started on that, I want to thank you, David. And also I want to invite people to you a little bit more. I want to hear more of you. So definitely October 29th, are you having a 2-day event? So I'll make sure that I drop the information too.
Yes, October 29th, October 30th. It's going to be in Atlanta. So what I'm going to do for the people that's actually on your platform right now, if they would like to come to my event, I will put them on my guest list. What you have to do, my Instagram is David Powertalk. So you can drop that in the chat.
Okay.
David Powertalk is my Instagram. And the reason why Neo hates when I give out tickets, the reason why sometimes I do give out free invites for people to be on my guest list is because one quick story, one of my mentees, I gave her a free ticket to my event. And she went from that to VIP to now she's a powerful motivational speaker, right?
Never know.
But sometimes people don't know what they need to be exposed to until they're exposed to it.
Right.
So we have a little hesitation sometimes on saying, oh, I don't know if I should go X, Y, and Z. But I'm gonna promise you this: if you're in Atlanta or you can make it to Atlanta on October 29th, it's gonna be amazing. We got Trent Shelton coming, we got Marvin Mitchell.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you want to, protect your peace, Trent Shelton, he's gonna be there.
I remember.
So therefore, we got another surprise guest we're working on right now. It's called "It's My Turn to Speak" Mastermind.
Okay.
It's gonna be great. So you guys, if you want to come, my Instagram's in the chat. Shoot me a DM and say, Powertalk, man, I want to come to your event. And I will promise you, I'll put you on my list. I'm gonna email you some tickets by tomorrow, and just come there with an open heart and an open mind and be ready to be poured into.
Don't miss out. So those that are listening on Instagram, make sure I will be sending out the replay. So if you make sure that you register on the Zoom, because when the replay goes out, only you in the replay can get that offer. That's it. Because I will take this down, so it's not going to be available forever. Get into the rooms, everyone. That's the basic word, is make sure that you are getting in rooms with other people, no other than Eric Thomas. I start most of our conference time out with that. Every webinar, we start out with that. He's a powerful speaker, and you have to have someone in front of you who is a leader, who is speaking power into you. So that's why I definitely wanted to have David Powertalk on here and bless you guys with that. So be sure to follow him on Instagram, click on his link so that you can get closer to him as far as other things that he does have going on. If you have a youth in the household, make sure that you connect them. Our children need to have someone of substance to look up to. Even someone in your household, your woman, your man. You all need to be doing something of value, whether it's date night, not just to eat, but you got to feed your soul as well. So make sure that you're doing something that will empower you and both empower you and learn how to speak with one another. And that's what we're talking about for the next 20 minutes, is how you can speak life into your world. So David, thank you so much. Does anyone have any quick questions for him before he jets off? Literally. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew had mentioned something here, which I love. Yes, great talk, bro. He said, continue to pray for the promise, not dwelling on the problem. Exactly. So,
amen.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So thank you very much. Yeah, you can stay on as long as you want to.
I'm about to. Listen, first of all, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Great. This was great. Great conversation. You guys be blessed. You guys operating your gift. And thank you so much. And I will see you soon.
See you soon. Safe travels.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, bet. All right, everyone. For those that are on here, you know how we like to open things up in a different kind of way. I definitely want to make sure that you are dropping in your wins. Drop in your wins, even if you have to get off mute. I want to hear what happened this week. What happened this week? What wins did we have? Small, big, you woke up, I got a phone call, You can unmute yourself if you like. Dot, you got something to share?
I'm just really grateful. This is my first time tuning in. And I actually got a little teary-eyed.
I was about to get there too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I shocked myself. But yeah, and I was thinking, I'm going to have to turn my camera off because I really felt the tears welling up. So this was extremely timely. And I really appreciate it from the very beginning. You know, when you started off with the Eric Thomas words of motivation, I was not sitting down, so I couldn't take notes, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is really going to be good.
Every week.
So I'm just really, really happy to be here. That I would say that's my win for today.
Good.
That I'm here.
Good. So even though it's your first time, it won't be your last. We're here every Tuesday, and I committed to doing these webinars weekly after not even a hard discussion. I remember doing these segments, but with a different investment group that I had. It was a foreign exchange group. So we would do these groups, and I took a pause and I said, in January, I need to take a break because I have to shift and do something else. And I came back and I said, well, how am I going to do this? Should I do this? And I wanted to make sure, Dot, that I was coming back and making sure that I was pouring into realtors and entrepreneurs and people who needed life. And those are the segments. So every single Tuesday, Dot, we have a different topic about business. It could be about entrepreneurship. It could be about credit. It's just about building you up as an individual.
Wonderful.
So I gotta make sure that you come on back with that.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful. Alicia, did you have any ones that you wanted to share? Ooh, presentations. Okay, all right, Andrew, good job. I love it. Yes, Doc. Alicia.
Hello.
What's up?
Of course, I woke up this morning, so
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's a definite win. Put both of my feet on the ground, so that's a definite win.
I love it.
But yeah, I've been obtaining more clients and just kind of being a little more aggressive and taking more action and less preparing or getting ready to prepare. And
get ready.
Yes, get ready to get ready. You know, I'm the queen. Okay. And so, I've been very proud of myself. Just kind of, following up, and that's the key, following up. So, yeah.
Praise God. Praise God. I love it. Proud of you. Kirby, what you got, Kirby?
Can you hear me?
Hey, Kirby. Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, Lorie. I'm grateful for just another day. You know what I'm going through. So I'm grateful for just the small things, being able to, have the right mind to even pivot and to reinvent yourself. I'm grateful for being able to, spend time with my kids and try to pour into them and, build them up,
I love it.
So that's kind of what my week has been, it's all about perspective. There's always that yin and yang, but I choose to look at the positive part of it.
I love it. You choose. It's a choice. Faith or fear. So whenever you all speak to me, I think you've noticed that I'm not going to let you get away with any fear talk. And that's really just been something that's been instilled as I was going through changes myself. The one chapter in the book, Unleash Your Irresistibility, that took me months to actually write, was the one chapter that I needed to write for people to have that aha moment, that Me Too moment. And I remember at the book signing that everybody's there to cheer me on, and they're, supportive of the book coming out. And when I had to talk about the depression chapter, that is the one, when I looked around the room, I saw a lot of men and women just nodding their head. I was like, so you will all go through depression and bullshit like me? And it was just like, yeah, we do. So thank you for writing that chapter, because that showed a realness of you. So I don't think that all of us, I think that all of us have some sort of story. We all do, and it's always going to be continuously made. I want you to take a look at your life like it's a huge pan, and it's got a whole bunch of dots in it, right? And you would think to go from left to right is the quickest and easiest way for us to get through life. But you think that the dots connect the way they're supposed to? They don't. You get far and then you got to come back. Some of the dots never connect, and some people you never should meet in your life, and some people you will meet as dots in your life. So you have to understand and appreciate. If you watch The Secret, how many of you have actually watched the movie The Secret? If you watch that 1 time, 3 times, 7 times, I guarantee you, you will see something different every single time that you watch that. And that was the one movie for me that was a pivot to change my mindset on how I can think about things. I'm thinking about traffic, right? Those dots that I was talking about, you would think, well, I'm supposed to get in the car and go from A to Z, excuse me. But how about I can't find my keys? Or I'm looking around and I can't find it. Oh, I dropped something that delayed me. I started looking at it not as a problem and not as a frustration anymore. I started thinking, wow, God, thank you for delaying me. Who knew what could have happened? In that 7 minutes that you delayed me, who knew what could have happened? So I promise you, everyone has a story. I don't want you to stay in frustration. I don't want you to stay in fear, because what's going to happen is you start to develop health problems and you get backaches and nothing is explainable. Your stomach starts to hurt and your head and everything starts to hurt, and no doctor can prescribe anything except a pill to get you out of the office. And you don't want that. So here's a couple of things I wanted to share with you on how I practice gratitude and how I practice each day to move from not being in depression. Will depression come knock on the door? It will. It will. I promise you it'll try, but it's up to us to figure out what words am I going to use and what mindset am I going to use to get out of this. Okay. There's certain people that you shouldn't be meeting. You would think, Lee, I really like that person from afar, or why is that person removed from my life? God did it. And be okay with that. People are out of your life for a reason, and they come into your life for a reason. The ones that leave, time was up. That's all. Time was up, and that's okay. So you have to understand that, and don't get upset on, man, just be happy. All right. So here is, if you all have been in any of my coaching and mentoring sessions, this is the secret right here. Here's the secret to having that amazing happy that costs nothing. That costs nothing. There's no copayment. There's no doctor visits. There's nothing. I have nothing but notebooks around my house. And if there's any gift that you ever want to give me, go to Amazon and get me a notebook, because I fill it up. Because I'm talking to myself, I'm writing all the time, and these are the things I'm sharing with you all. Here's a blank one, okay? So in the morning, before my feet touch the ground, you guys ready for this? I'm giving you the secret. I'm giving you the secret, Doc, okay? All right, Andrew, you ready? I think you probably already practiced these gratitude moments. Gwen has heard these. All right, Alicia has heard these, so it's just repeat. I take my pen and I write at the top of my notebook today's date. Okay. Yeah, you need it. Yeah, because we can't do this all by ourselves. We can't mentor ourselves. Okay. At the top of the notebook, I'm going to write today's date. Okay. And then this is before you turn on any TV. There's no news. There's no TV in the morning. There is no IG. There's no, let me check out TikTok. You're about to set the direction of your day with what's about to happen. And I promise you, anything that happens, you're going to be a repellent for BS. You're going to be a good repellent for BS, because what you're doing is now, as David was saying, you were directing your steps for the day. You're about to direct who you're going to meet. You're going to direct the way you're going to feel. And that way, when you go outside's not going to direct how you feel. Got it? Let's go. So we got the date at the top, and then I'm going to number 1 through 5. Number 1 through 5, all right? These are my personal and professional intentions I plan to do today. It's not a 20-point list on all the things I have to do today. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're too young for that. We're too fly for that. And we can't handle 15 things in one day anyway. So 5 things. Number 1 that I write is how I plan to feel. So my number 1 is always be happy, loving, and wealthy. Or I could write be happy, loving, and supportive, however I feel. But number 1 is always, how do you plan to feel? That's super important. So if y'all ever notice, if you ask me, how do you feel? And I actually say I'm happy, that's genuinely correct. It's no BS. It's I'm happy. I was driving down the road. I was in Virginia coming home, getting a whole bunch of traffic. And I just felt a glow of happy over me. And I'm driving in the car by myself and I'm just smiling. And I'm like, because I told myself how to feel today. That's why. So tell yourself how to feel. All right. So number 1 is, how do you plan to feel today? Number 2, this is the big one. How much money you plan on receiving today? Number 2 is receive and deposit $55,000 into my Chase business checking account today. I'm specific, and you should be so crystal clear. Just like David had mentioned, if you get in your car, you just don't say shopping mall. You actually put in an address so that you can get there. You put in an address of your destination. I am telling the universe, I'm telling God what I'm looking for. I'm looking to receive money, yo. Looking for some money. And I want it to find me, and I want to receive and deposit it and put it into my Chase business checking account. Not tomorrow, but when? Today. Today. I need it today. All right. So I'm receiving money. So money is around somehow. And when I say, what if I receive $500 today? Am I upset? Nope. If I receive $2,000 today, or if I receive $20 today, am I upset? No, because I knew it was coming. I knew something was coming. So you have not because you ask not. All right. Don't just ask for money. If that's the case, I'll give you a penny. And the universe could give you a penny. Are you going to be okay with that? We can't even get nothing from the store with a penny anymore. All right. And number 3, 4, and 5 are simply things that I plan to complete today. Okay. I'm seeing that it's already done. All right. You are the head, not the tail. If I'm the head, I can already see that I've completed this workshop. I've completed something. And so number 3, 4, and 5 are just some personal things I got to get done today. Do they always get done? No, but I have sat there and I'm actually visualized that they're getting done. So that's number 1 through 5. How do you all feel about doing that? You should be happy writing it out. When you get to number 1, you should have a smile on your face when you're actually writing these things out. Okay? Any questions so far? Right, Gwen, how did I understand that? I got that through a Bob Proctor event about writing out the intentions. I didn't just create that. So yeah, we always have to have mentors that pour greatness into us so that we can mentally be cool. I can't do this by myself because I could stay in bed all day, so could you. All right, that's a choice. All right, so then I draw a squiggly line. All right, after number 1 through 5, drawing a squiggly line, this is the magic right here. Then 1 through 10. I think David mentioned 20 words of affirmation or 20 words of gratitude, okay? I do 10. So 1 through 10. I'm so happy and grateful now. Again, if you watch The Secret, you still got time to watch it on YouTube tonight for free. Watch it and you can understand how you can create anything you want. And I'm creating happiness above because I'm looking and seeing what I want to create. Below 1 through 10, I'm being grateful for the things and people that I have. So here's how that goes. I'm so happy and grateful now for God's favor. I'm so happy and grateful now for Winnie, my puppy. Number 3, I'm so happy and grateful now for my health. I'm so happy and grateful now for my family and friends. I'm so happy and grateful now for consistent income. I'm so happy and grateful now for my home, car, utilities being on. I'm so happy and grateful now for love. You understand? Everything that we have, we pretty much gloss over and we just wake up and just assume, I'll see that tomorrow. But if you're not grateful for the things that God blesses us with, how is he going to bless you with anything extra? Sometimes there's a lot of friction in why we can't get something else. It's because you're not grateful for what you already have. You're not grateful. You didn't say thank you for waking up this morning. You didn't even say thank you that my knees are okay today. Thank you for health. Thank you for my legs working. Thank you for my eyes opening this morning. And we're so worried about what we don't have. So that's the secret of having an amazing day where you're not worried. The stress level goes down. Because by that time, you're like, so again, what do I have to worry about? Nothing. All you have to do is play the part in the play that God wants you to do and just work. Because you've already been grateful. You've already set the intentions of what you want to do. There's nothing else, just work. And by the time you get out of the house, you are now prepared in a spiritual way where if anybody says anything negative to you, you already have a shield up because it doesn't matter to you. You're not going to absorb that issue. It's not your issue, it's their issue. All right. So the power of words really has to start with how you communicate with yourself. You're going to be with yourself for the rest of your life. So you're going to have to figure out how in the world do I need to speak to myself first before I can speak to anyone else out there. And the power of your words has to be self-love, faith over fear. We're not talking anything, well, I'm going to try. Well, I don't know if this is going to work. I was thinking about, that's cool. You're going to do it. That's cool. Don't get on the phone with me and expect we're just going to have an average conversation of lack. No, I'm going to uplift you as much as possible, pour into you the words that you need, because right at that moment, you might not have it. You might not be strong enough to do it on your own. So I'm going to pour a little bit into you until you can start walking and talking on your own. So the power of words is everything. If we have children, everything that we say, it matters. Everything. Whatever you say and how you say it gets deposited into them and they hear it. They may not say anything at the time, but they hear it and they go with it. And when they leave your presence, that they're mirroring you. They're mirroring you. So be very careful on how you speak to them. One of the things that my dad says that I adore, and he tells all of us kids that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. If those words right there are enough life, Dot, that will just, okay, I can do it. Whatever it is, I can do it. I'm proud. Even if I miss the mark, it's okay. I'm still proud of you. I'm good. So for those that have children, just let that be a word of inspiration to pat them on the back, because children out there, they're not in this conversation. They don't have it like this. You do. So those words of encouragement go a long way when you tell someone, not just a kid, but even your spouse, even your loved one, your best friend, doesn't matter. You didn't get it this time, but guess what? I love you and I'm proud of you. Okay? Y'all got it? So the power of those words are promising. I really want you guys to watch The Secret tonight. And Again, it may be something where you watch it now, and then in another couple of months, when you watch it again, you'll hear something different that you didn't hear this time. But continue to feed yourself with that so you can understand how some people are on a level of chill and don't let things bother them, or they're always in a state of anxiety. Those that are in a state of anxiety are living in the past. And I'm going to wrap this up and I'll share this with you. You can either focus on the future, write your gratitude out. Okay, if you're writing your gratitude moments out, you're focusing on everything in the future. I see it. I may not naturally see it, but I can see the house. I can see the condo. I can see the vacation. I can see the wife or husband that I envision. That keeps a smile on your face. Stay focused in your present time. If you continuously focus on the yesterday, that's where anxiety lives. Oh, I was supposed to do this, or he was supposed to do that. Fear. Oh, I went around that corner 2 years ago and someone broke in my car 2 years ago. Fear. So the anxiety that we live with day to day is stuff from the past. Don't overlook it, but just don't stay there. Don't stay there. Stay in the present tense. This is the reason why the gratitude is super important, because if you are grateful for what you have, you're not focused on yesterday. You're not focused on what they didn't give you. You're not focused on what she didn't do yesterday or what she didn't do 10 years ago. Stay in the present time and focus on the intentions of what you see that's happening in the future. The anxiety, the depression, and the fear starts to work most in people when they worry about, well, I lost my job 2 years ago. That looks like that could happen again. Don't be, you can dismiss some things, but don't stay there. Don't stay in the past. And anybody that you're connected to, if you feel that they just live in the past and they're always in a state of worrying, now you understand why. They're not in a state of present. So write out the gratitude moments, be that bigger person, use your words, and certainly you will start to see a huge difference in the relationships that you have. Okay. If the man in the glass, that's another one, Andrew. Okay, well, that's some homework then. The Man in the Glass, it's by Dale Wimbrough. Check that one out as well. But I would say the secret is almost 2 hours long. And get up, don't be laying in the bed when you watch it, but be up and watch it and pay attention. Everything is a vibration and everything has energy. So the gift that you may have now may not be a gift that you had years ago. When I meet people right now, I either am attracted to them or I'm repelled quickly. And it's not a gift that I had before. This is the reason why is because I keep my energy protected from fear. People who stay in fear. I stay protected from that. And you want to stay in that elevated sense as well, where you can't stay around that. It almost becomes like a disease. It almost becomes a disease. If I meet a guy and we are thinking about dating, and if I feel a vibe, I'm not staying. It's just not going to work. For whatever reason, I might have been brought into your life just to help you out, but I don't see this happening, brother. I don't see this happening for my benefit, but God may have used me to deposit something into that person's life. You might be used as well. So don't get mad when relationships part. The assignment is done. It's as simple as that. Gwen? Oh, The Secret. The movie is called The Secret. Just put in YouTube, go to YouTube and just watch it. It's called The Secret. Let me show you. Let me show you. Does anyone have any questions about the power of words tonight? I gave you the secret. Go to Amazon and get yourself a notebook. This journal will save you. I probably have about 5 notebooks floating around, and I won't throw them out because I like to see the journey of where I was, and you want to see that as well. If anybody has purchased, I don't even have any more of the books. Unleash Your Irresistibility. I'm bringing that book out actually as a new edition. And so I don't even have the original books to offer you guys anymore right now. I've sold out. But I do have the book that does talk about that depression chapter in The Extraordinary Makeover. So if you did want to order that, I do have that in my store on the unleashedcollection.com. So if that is something that you want or give a gift to any man or woman, that is a collection of stories. Alicia was one of the co-authors in that book, Miss Alicia Mathis. And we wrote that to hear the stories of women. And some people were like, why don't you get the guys together? That wasn't my assignment, to get the guys together to write a collage book. Just had to get the women together to get their stories out, because you might be feeling, I'm the only one going through this. You're not. You are not. You're not the only one. So let me share with you really quickly about the secret. I'm going to go up to YouTube, and I'm going to put in here the secret movie. And I want you to see how easy it is for you all to have cinema night tonight or tomorrow. All right. Once it pops up, you'll see. So go to the unleashedcollection.com. The only book that I do have that we can send out is on that webpage, the unleashedcollection.com. And you can check out the stories and the depression story. The bounce back is everything. The bounce back of everybody's story is everything. So here it is. The full movie, there you go. So, you know, it's not hard. So take 1 hour and 29 minutes. There it is. Okay. So that's your homework assignment until next week, until we meet again. So how does everybody feel? Do they have their notebooks ready? Tomorrow will be here before you know it. Tomorrow will be here before you know it. And next week, I have the pleasure of bringing on one of our industry ladies, Tabitha Richardson. She is a broker, a real estate broker in the community. So we're not just going to talk about real estate next Tuesday. We're going to talk about women in real estate. Everything that we can go through as women, we're going to talk more about that. Entrepreneurship, opportunities that she's helping women get through. And also she's got a podcast. So she's coming on mine to share a little bit more about her wisdom as well. So I love talking with you guys. I love sharing with you all. And yeah, go be amazing. The small wins are the big wins, and never forget that. The pain is here. We were always going to go through some type of pain, but use that. You have 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds to understand and just say, you know what? Cancel that. I can't stay here. All right. And get out. Use that pain for your power to get to that next dot that I was sharing with you in life. That next dot is waiting for you. So you got to understand it's going to happen. It's got to happen to bounce you to the next dot in life. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And definitely you guys have an amazing night. Good night.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Sabrina. You guys will get the replay tomorrow. I promise you. You have some goodies in there as well, as far as the links with Mr. David Powertalk as well. So his event is in October 29th. It's a 2-day event.
Thank you.
Got it, girl. Good to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dot, good to see you, girl. You're looking younger and younger.
Oh, thank you, Lorie. Thank you so much. And the Eric Thomas video that you used for the intro, what's the name of that video?
Honey, I just put in Eric. He just goes. Let me see if I can get the exact one that we were working with. Hold on. I listen to him every morning. Here it is.
Mental toughness.
Let me drop it in the chat so you can have the exact one.
Great. Thank you so much.
A lot of times in the morning, what I'll do is I'm getting my breakfast together. I will just turn YouTube on. And after I've written my intentions out for the day, I'll simply go and just turn on YouTube. Just put in Eric Thomas. And sometimes just a lot of different compilations will come up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get the exact link once the app right. This one. Thank you, Instagram.
High school dropout, homeless. I ate out of trash cans to the New York Times bestsellers list. But you can only do that if you have clarity. I knew exactly what I wanted. Does that make sense?
All right, I'm dropping in the chat now for you.
Thank you so much, Lorie.
Now, I'm going to show you how we did it so you can do it. So I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to show you how we did it so you can.
So those are the primary pain points of our current market.
So you can. Come on, one more time. I'm going to show you how we did it so you can. Good. I'm going to walk you through. Everybody wants to be a beast, y'all. To the top.
Okay.
I'm just being real. This was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I want you to write down what you're going to have to do. You become a beast in this industry, nothing or no one will stop you. The reason why a lot of you are not where you should be is because you're not in beast mode.
How was it? Kirby.
Hello?
How was it?
It was good. I was occupied with so many different things. I was in route taking care of some errands, so that's why I'm not on camera. But
are you sick?
am I sick? No, I'm not sick.
Oh, you sound congested.
I'm not sick. I am not sick. I am healing.
Look at you.
Okay. I'm claiming that.
Claiming that. I love it.
How are you?
How you like my haircut?
I see you doing all this Unleashed stuff over there.
You like that? You like the backgrounds? Is this your first time seeing it?
No. I've seen it before, but I like the setup. I'm gonna have to get you to set my studio up one day.
Oh, awesome.
But you always look nice.